I believe we have a creativity deficit, and our fear of creativity is holding us back from our greatness. I spent 25 years as a leader in an arts organization. Despite that fact, you might be surprised that I really don't sing or dance or draw all that well. In fact, my greatest artistic achievement came in 6th grade when I won 3rd place in the state's poster contest advocating for good posture. Okay, while my technical skills in the arts aren't the best, I did learn a tremendous amount from working with all kinds of artists through the years. I discovered there are invaluable skills for our leadership that we can develop by actively engaging in the arts. Many people think of these types of skills as soft skills. I think of them as superpowers. If you could fly through life like a superhero, wouldn't you want access to these special skills? The great news is that creativity is not elusive. It's a muscle we can all develop. Throughout my career, I've been this connector and translator between art and business, dancing back and forth between my left and right brain tendencies. The most notable example of this came when I found myself at the epicenter of a very diverse group of community members who started working on a side project in our arts organization. This group was passionate about our arts education model, and we wanted to develop a program that would immerse business professionals in the arts to help them develop skills they could apply to their daily work. It wasn't the artistic skills we were after. Rather, we knew that through the arts, we could teach people to be more adaptive, to solve problems from new angles, and to work more collaboratively with their colleagues. And if we could launch this program, the whole sea would rise. We'd have more impactful leaders out there, and our organization would generate more revenue and build new audiences. Frankly, I was tired of nonprofits working from scarcity. This was exhilarating to think what would be possible if we could be generative, bold, and abundant in our thinking. It was also nerve-wracking. You see, this was 2009, and our side project was moving forward as the economy was crashing. We were tightening our financial belt, and our organization was in the midst of a leadership transition. So as the number 2 on the org chart at the time, my leadership was on the line. Did I really want to hang my hat on this far-fetched program? Or just let it go, play it safe? For you to fully appreciate the state of flux I was in, let me paint a scene for you about what was playing out. Imagine you're sent on a 6-day off-site retreat to rural Virginia. There's no easy getaway, there's no Wi-Fi. And with you in this cabin in the woods is a very colorful cast of characters that includes a couple of corporate executives, a dancer, a psychologist, a visual artist, a serial entrepreneur, a theater director, a fundraiser, and me, the one trying to make sense of this all. It felt like we were in a scene from a nonprofit Scooby-Doo mystery. And if the cast of characters and the mix of personalities and perspectives wasn't challenging enough, the topic we were there to discuss was this fuzzy program concept that involved convincing business execs that improv theater, design, and dance were the next big thing in leadership training. Well, we all survived that journey, but it was full of twists and turns as our art versus business cultures clashed over language, values, and norms. It was as if we came from different planets. What I didn't know at the time is how important this unusual group and team and this journey would be in shaping me into a more creative, and impactful leader. You see, for years, I had watched our talented teaching artists work with kids in dance, theater, music, art, and design. It was rewarding to see their artistic skills evolve year after year. But even better was seeing them embrace discovery, to understand what it feels like to take a risk, to learn how to express ideas and emotions and how to collaborate with each other. It didn't matter what their level of talent was or if they were destined for a stage, because their ahas happened by simply immersing in the process. Then I realized that was it. Everyone could foster their personal growth by simply engaging in the process. But if that were true, why did so few adults work on building their creative capacity? Well, studies show that while most people say they want to be more creative and innovative, people actually hold an implicit bias. Subconsciously, the comfort of status quo is so strong that people have come conditioned to think of creativity as disruptive, even harmful. So people like hearing words like useful and practical, but the mere mention of the word creativity gives them a feeling of uncertainty. So you're probably squirming in your seats just hearing my talk. I realize that. But apparently this comfort in the status quo, it can grip cities as well. Our group was further provoked to bring creativity to the fore when we learned that a national magazine declared St. Louis, our hometown, one of 5 slow cities. They thought we lacked forward thinking, innovation, and vibrancy. They had the nerve to call our city flatter than a flat Bud Light. And they ranked us dead last on a weirdness indicator. So we were too normal for our own good. St. Louis needed a spark, and we knew we needed art more than ever to help St. Louis move beyond its traditional ways of working. Don't get me wrong, these linear, left brain oriented skills, being analytical, logical, numerical, these are important and essential, but we continue to overemphasize them at the cost of our human creativity. A recent study found that 89% of executive leaders are trained in business school and hold left-leaning degrees such as business and science. And they self-report that their right brain skills, being creative, intuitive, empathetic, are their weakest. In fact, only 8% of them say they use a whole brain leadership approach in their organizations. Now, as leaders, if our goal is peak performance, this doesn't add up. Can you imagine a professional athlete saying, I spend 90% of my time developing the left side of my body because it's superior and most important to my performance? No, of course not. Athletes know that alignment of their entire body and mind is required for peak performance. The reality is that we're not left or right-brained. That's an oversimplification of neuroscience. The left and right sides of our brain seamlessly exchange information in fluid movement together, like Fred and Ginger on the dance floor. And when we take a more balanced approach, we make more money. So organizations who embrace whole brain leadership have 34% higher profitability growth than their peers. In today's world, creativity is currency. We're living in a world that's more volatile, fast-paced, complex than ever before. The more automated the world becomes, the more our humanness, our emotional intelligence, and our creativity are the competitive advantages. So people who can create new content, approach problems with ingenuity, design a future with humans at the heart, they are and will be in high demand. But the real beauty of human creativity is that it doesn't distinguish between gender, race, class, or sexual orientation. It lives in all of us, and we all have access to this competitive advantage. Now, even as a leader in the arts, I struggled to use whole brain approaches. I was constantly told that best practice meant running my organization more like a business, more left-brained. If I just followed the fundamental principles of business, we would be more successful. I, like so many others, was groomed throughout my career to really take an institutional paint-by-numbers approach. But the curious, creative kid in me, I knew we needed to paint outside the lines. So this time, I did. So we pushed through the fear and the uncertainty and created a first-of-its-kind arts-based leadership training program. Now, I was definitely nervous as we brought arts-based training into workplaces, but I was not the only one. What I really learned is that if you want to impart fear in corporate America, invite executives to a training event, and when they get there, tell them they're going to dance. It's true. Our first paid workshop was with 150 financial advisors, and we had the audacity to immerse them in tango. They were terrified to be present in their bodies and think on their feet, but tango is a perfect, full-body improvisational lesson in leading and following. So we started with very simple mirroring exercises. No words, just follow your partner's movement. It proved to be very difficult. There was lots of nervous laughter, people fell over, but the learning came really quickly. Somewhere along the line, one leader abruptly shouted, okay, I realize I've been pushing my team too hard, too fast in multiple directions. And clearly this doesn't work in tango either because I just knocked my partner over. Bingo, I thought. In that moment, I knew that full body learning experience would stay with him for years to come. When we can learn to take risk when the stakes are low, we'll be able to tap into that feeling and trust it when the stakes are a bit higher. And this is why the arts are so powerful for our development. You can't lean on those cognitive shortcuts that you're used to. The arts literally light up different senses and different parts of our brain. When you're playing an instrument, painting, dancing, you are teaching your brain to make new connections. Scientific studies demonstrate that art has a measurable effect on our brains, increasing its plasticity, transforming our neural pathways. So simply put, the arts make us better learners, developing our brains to absorb new skills. And doing anything new takes intentionality because change is hard for everyone. Just a week prior to that workshop, a key donor had called to warn me, "You are detouring this organization and wasting our time on this creativity in business nonsense." But in that moment, I trusted my gut, and I reminded him that creativity is, in fact, our business. I was learning in real time what it meant to take a more whole body, whole brain approach to leadership. With no roadmap to follow, I trusted my collaborators and my instincts. We pushed through our discomfort. We failed a bit, we iterated, but the program and my leadership got better. And since that first workshop years ago with artists and financial advisors, this St. Louis-made program has transformed the leadership of more than 6,500 individuals from 350 companies across diverse industries. Because of our work, we now have thousands of bankers and engineers and corporate professionals who approach their work with more curiosity, flexibility, collaboration, and empathy. It's really unfortunate that we have this bias against creativity. There's this sense It's for someone else, those artsy people, but not necessarily me. Or perhaps our new ideas and ways of working have been shut down so frequently at work that we've given up thinking about what's possible. But the world needs all of us to be change makers. The challenges ahead of us are so big and complicated, it's going to require our full capabilities. So recognizing this, what if we reframe creativity and we simply try to live a more engaged, art-filled life? And we think of it as a journey, not a destination. And we can look to the artist. They trust and understand the creative process. It's that consistent habit of engaging in artistic practice that opens up our pathways to help us connect ideas and try new approaches. Trust me, I get it. If you are not used to engaging in the arts, it can be unsettling and unpredictable. But so is the forecast for our future. The road ahead of us is not linear. So go draw, go dance, go build your creative muscles. Trust me, you're going to need your creative superpowers. Thank you. Mm-hmm.